Philadelphia Eagles win another Super Bowl title, showing you why being really, really good in the trenches means oh so much. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason here after the conclusion of the 2024 season, now wrapped up here with the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl in 2025 and just really taking a dominant stance in the trenches last night. That defensive front of the Philadelphia Eagles was the absolute story of this game. You can talk about what Saquon was able to do, what Jalen Hurts did as the MVP of the football game, how he was able to get things done, what the wide receivers did. You could talk about that Philly offense. You could even talk about the back end of the Philly defense with Cooper DeJean with a pick six, the linebacker getting that pick at a big, big moment. But the real story of this game started up front, and both offensively and defensively for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that was what propelled them to a Super Bowl title. And you look at some of the teams that you may root for out there. I root for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so what am I thinking? They have Andy Weidl in the building. Is that the direction they want to follow, getting those trenches secured? And hopefully that's the direction. I feel like they've started that on the offensive line. You have a veteran in Cam Hayward along that defensive front trying to bring up a young guy in Keanu Benton. But I think going out there and finding real studs along both sides of those lines are imperative. And that's what wins championships. It gets you into a position to where you can do anything. You can win any way you have to. And that's what's special. Again, Philly last night just crushing the Chiefs with that defensive front, sacking Patrick Mahomes over and over and over. That's what was causing those interceptions thrown by Patrick Mahomes. When you cause disruption and you cause it constantly, that's what happens. And you saw again what that Philadelphia Eagles defensive front was able to do, and that offensive front was able to continue to give Jalen Hurts the opportunity to succeed. And the Philadelphia Eagles did another thing that was really special last night. They weren't predictable. They were balanced. They allowed their playmakers to make plays. They didn't lay back after they got a lead. They continued to attack and attack and attack, and that's another thing that you have to be able to do if you are going to win a championship in this league. And losing a Super Bowl in this league sticks with you forever. It's the losses in that game that will stick with you forever. And if you're Patrick Mahomes, that one's going to be a tough one to swallow because you just didn't get beat. You got your ass thumped. You looked bad. You looked pedestrian. You looked normal. And that was something that was troubling. And you look at the dynasties throughout the past here in the NFL, and then you look at the Chiefs, and they had the opportunity to go in there and three-peat as champions, but they weren't able to get it done, and it makes you wonder. When you were talking about this Chiefs team all year long, they were winning very close games. Yes, they found ways to win, but that championship pedigree was just shining through in the regular season. And when you met a real juggernaut in the Super Bowl, a team that had it all together, a team that was really, really fundamentally sound, a team that could really control the trenches, they weren't able to do anything at all. And it was kind of a telltale sign of, man, the Chiefs' offensive line maybe wasn't as good as we thought, or they were just good, but they weren't able to overcome that elite defensive front of the Philadelphia Eagles. But again, Patrick Mahomes is going to live with this forever, and this loss is not going to be easily shakeable, and it could be a major disruption in the Chiefs' storied franchise right now. You have Andy Reid, how crazy. He owns the most wins for the Philadelphia Eagles as a head coach and the most wins as a Kansas City Chiefs head coach. So he holds both of those titles. And how ironic is it that Andy Reid loses a Super Bowl to a team that he coached before? He's beat them in the Super Bowl, but how crazy. That's so crazy. So he's beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and he's lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and he is the all-time winningest coach in Philadelphia. How crazy is that? It just makes you wonder how the hell this shit all works out the way it does, you know? But man, this should be a blueprint to NFL teams. Jalen Hurts, Great quarterback, in my opinion. You've heard me talk on this channel many times about Jalen and my admiration for him and how I feel about Jalen Hurts. But do I think he's an elite level quarterback? No. But it shows you what you can do with really good quarterback play. Jalen Hurts is really good, but he's not elite. But he's really, really, really good. He's almost there. But it just shows you that if you can get a steady force at the quarterback position, and I'm not talking a basic dude or a guy that's real old, that's washed up, we're not talking about those types of guys. We're not talking about just an average guy. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a good quarterback that can win you some games here and there. He can make a difference, man. He can get things done. It just shows you when you put a team around that player, what you're going to be able to do. And that's why we're going to talk a little Steelers here. That's why I really feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers have that golden opportunity if they're able to sign Justin Fields. And I know some of you don't agree with that, and that's fine. That's what this offseason's for. But when you look at the Steelers and you look at what Justin Fields' skill set is, you look how he was able to continue to progress, how he was able to continue to build. Wow, is it going to be special if you're able to put an elite roster around him? And you might find yourself in a very favorable situation if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. What is going to hold the Steelers back, though, is schematics and the stubbornness and the basic way head coach Mike Tomlin approaches this. Yes, Philly is old school football. They run it down your throat. They beat you up on defense. They have that formula. They have that smash mouth formula. But they are good enough and intelligent enough to have great schematics. They have great ways of getting their players into prime position to succeed. And that's another place that your Pittsburgh Steelers are lacking. And I'll stand behind that because it's been proven over and over and over again. I'm not telling you anything you don't know there. Again, you won't see Russ back in a Steelers uniform. You won't see Najee back in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. So how do the Steelers get that elite talent back into that building at the running back position, at the quarterback position? Well, not elite. You don't need to be elite. And again, that's where I feel like Justin Fields is the answer. And that's why I feel the Pittsburgh Steelers need to go out there and continue to build the trenches. But you got to grab all those skill players too. You looked at what Jalen Hurts had at his disposal. Smith, Brown, he had the big name wide receivers, two of the best. And he also had Saquon Barkley at the running back position. Is Jaylen Warren a guy that's a Saquon Barkley type guy? No. But can Jaylen Warren be really, really good? Absolutely. Can Jaylen Warren make you respect the run game of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Absolutely. Can Justin Fields run like Jalen Hurts? Absolutely. Maybe even at a higher level than Jalen in the run game. So absolutely, those are check marks in that box. But what is Justin missing? That offensive line gelling, which I think the Steelers are on the right track with that, with the young talent they have. I think you're going to continually see growth here, and I think you're going to see something special start to really form here in Pittsburgh along that offensive front. And I think they're a defensive nose tackle away from being really, really good on that defensive front of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They weren't a bad defensive front to last year. And that's why I say I don't think they're far away, and I don't think you have to make any real crazy moves. I don't think you're one piece away. I don't think you're one thing away from being very good. But I think that this roster could be an elite roster with just a few additions. Just a few additions that really aren't crazy. I think getting some skill players is an absolute necessity. If you don't want to trade George Pickens, that's fine. That's fine. Roll with him, but you got to bring some other talent into that room. Get yourself 2 or 3 guys that can make plays in that wide receiver room. Boom. Now all of a sudden you're rolling. That offensive line, another year older with rookies this year with Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick, guys in their second year with Broderick Jones, going to be another year older. A veteran in Isaac Seumalo, maybe he got a little bit of gas left in the tank. Maybe you're able to just bring in some key depth players there along that offensive front. Maybe you're able to score a big stud, monster run, stuffing nose tackle. Maybe those things happen and all of a sudden your fortunes change really quickly, really easily. And it sounds really simple, and it really is, guys. This isn't rocket science, what's going on in the city of Pittsburgh. They have a guy that is one of the architects of the Philadelphia Eagles franchise right now, and that's Andy Weidl. They have those guys in place. They have some of the things in place. And if they make the right moves, 2025, 2026 could be a very special time to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I'm not just saying that, guys. You know I tell you the truth about the Steelers, about their fortunes, about their future. And I'm telling you, it's not that far-fetched. It's not. It's not that far-fetched for the Pittsburgh Steelers to all of a sudden get really, really good. But it's going to take a very big effort and a lot of change on Mike Tomlin's part and a few smart moves by Omar Khan and Andy Weidl. And I think Mike Tomlin needs to have his hands out of that cookie jar and allow those guys to work and put some of those key pieces in place. And again, I really, really think this Pittsburgh Steelers team can make these additions with the amount of cap space that they're going to have and the amount of confidence I have in Omar Khan and his ability to draft solid players. So I think that this thing can get on track and can get on track quite easily. So big congratulations to the other team in Pennsylvania, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles, on winning another Lombardi Trophy in Super Bowl, I believe, 59. 59. So the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions of 2025, and they write themselves into history as they were able to stop the dynasty from advancing a little bit further with the Kansas City Chiefs and put Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest talents I've seen at the quarterback position in quite some time, and stop him dead in his tracks and prevent him from winning his third NFL championship in a row. Patrick Mahomes so far, 3 NFL championships, 3 Super Bowl championships. But guess what? He ain't the GOAT yet. Tom Brady still has 7. So I don't think anybody will ever get to that ever again. I think that's something that's going to be unobtainable. It's unrealistic in today's NFL to get to that. Tom, hats off to you, my friend. Crazy. But anyway, yeah. As far as the broadcast and everything went last night, I thought it could have been better. I don't think Tom Brady's the best in the booth. But again, it's his first year, so I'm not sure why he was doing the Super Bowl. But it is what it is. He didn't do bad. He didn't do great. But he definitely needs some work in the booth. It wasn't as good as I think it could have been. As far as the performance at halftime, I enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it. That's why I enjoyed it, because my kids like that and like Kendrick Lamar. So, as long as they enjoyed it, I was cool with it. I didn't think it was bad at all. I thought he, worked hard at it. That was a lot of choreographed stuff, a lot of big-time moves out there at halftime. So, yeah, hats off to the show. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it could have been a little bit better. In terms of the things that they were doing there, production and all that. I think it could have been a little bit better. But overall, I thought it was a quality Super Bowl. And again, the Philadelphia Eagles just win in absolute dominating fashion and show you exactly why the trenches are so important. And I'm going to emphasize that again tonight on the live show tonight. We're going to have Steel City Live tonight after the Super Bowl here and really just dive into the trenches. And I really want to start talking about building this football team for your Pittsburgh Steelers here in 2025 and what this team needs to do. Because again, guys, this isn't very complicated. It's not. Please don't overcomplicate it. Please don't get in there in all your mock drafts and try to overcomplicate this building of this roster back up to a championship caliber roster, because it's not that complicated. Mike, call me, my friend. I will guide you on what you need. I will guide you, and I will show you the way, my friend. Call Jason. All you got to do is email me at MikeDropSports@yahoo.com, and I will guide you, Mike. I will give you my phone number. I will tell you what to do. Trust in me. I got you, my friend. I got you. I got you, bro. All right, guys. We will be back tonight again. Like I said, make sure you share, like, and subscribe if you're not already here on the daily upload. I truly appreciate that as we are kicking ass and taking names. We are back in full force here as we dive into the offseason and what is going to be an amazing offseason for your Pittsburgh Steelers. I just got a feeling. So until tonight, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace, my friends. See you on the next one.